What are the best and worst summer tops? Well, in this video, I'm going to be ranking some of the most popular shirts on a tier list from S as the most tasteful to F as the very worst. And at the end, I'm going to be crowning one top as the best of the best or double S tier and one as the worst of the worst or dishonor. You should be embarrassed wearing these. And so here's what's going into my ranking. Number one, the more versatile a piece is, the better. So if it works with multiple styles, it works with different bottoms like trousers, cargo pants, and shorts, that's going to give it a bump up. Number two, variation in design. So if there's different textures, different graphics, different patterns, that's also going to give it a little boost. And number three, breathability. I live in a big city. I have to walk everywhere. So the more breathable it is, the more I'm going to be wearing it. And number four, I personally need to feel good and confident in it, and it has to look good in my eyes, whether that be on myself or other people. So let's move on to our very first top, and it's a bit not controversial, but more so gatekept by you and yourself. And I'm talking about the tank top. Let me explain. So I personally love tank tops, and I can easily place it way up there on the tier list as one of the very best. However, there's one major limiting factor, and that would be the individual themselves. You see, a lot of people are more self-conscious about their bodies and all that. You know, we live in a new age of social media. I totally get it. Me too. Physique inflation is a real thing. And I think that's why a lot of people tend to avoid wearing this garment on its own. There is another tank top style that a lot of people forget about. I'll talk more about that in a bit. But that doesn't mean you can't wear a tank top for the summertime. You can do exactly what I'm doing right now, and that would be layering it underneath a button-up or a camp collar shirt. We all complain about how summertime fashion isn't the greatest. Well, when you style tanks with this method, this brings in some layering elements to your fits and gives it a lot more depth and dimension. You can wear some headwear with it, you can wear it with some shorts, you can wear some trousers, cargo pants. Very versatile piece if you do it with a camp collar shirt. But let's talk about the tank itself and styling it by itself. So there are some variations in tank tops, mostly in texture and color, but really not all too much to work with unless you go for the more looser versions. But a lot of times with those, there's a lot more wackier colors, which are more suited for the beach and resorts. I'm not really a fan of those. I'm just talking about the solid color tank top. So if I had to pick one, I would focus on texture and I would get a ribbed tank top. Of course, it's pretty breathable, a lot more skin is showing. So with all that, tank tops, I'm gonna be placing in B tier. Because of the mental barrier, I honestly think it's more of a C tier. However, because you can style it in many other ways, layering it underneath a camp collar shirt, I think that bumps it up to a B tier. But let's keep it going with our very next top, which I've been talking about, and that would be the camp collar shirt. So if you guys didn't know, a camp collar shirt is basically just a short sleeve button up with a collar. Probably the garment with the most variations, so you can definitely find one that suits your personal style. So for me personally, I really like this utility one, the extra pockets. It really suits my personal style, but I love all the other variations out there. You got slim fit ones, you got oversized ones, striped ones, crazy patterns, and one of my favorites has to be the crochet shirt. Now the trick to styling these is playing with three different elements, and you can start with how you button it. So you can go fully unbuttoned, or you can button it all the way up. You can show a little bit of tank top. You can go with no tank top, buttoned. You've got a lot of options. Second thing you can play with is with your headwear. Headwear goes a long way. You can play with different styles, different colors. And the third way is to add a belt. So again, you can go buttoned, unbuttoned, you can tuck in your shirt. All of these elements can change how mature your fit is, how casual it is, and with a belt, separating the top half from the bottom half of your fit. So I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a big fan of camp collar shirts, so I have to place it as our very first S tier. Now, let's talk about the oversized shirt. At this point, it's definitely a staple for your wardrobe. Very versatile. It can pair with a ton of different looks, different garments, and there's also a lot of variety. You got graphic ones, different textured ones. I really like this pleated one. You got different patterns, a ton of different colors, and even reverse stitched one if you want a more casual look. Everybody loves the oversized tee, but there is a shirt that is a lot more timeless, a classic for sure. We'll get into that in a bit. So as far as rating goes, I'm gonna be placing the oversized t-shirt in A tier. Overall, a solid choice. However, it is a bit more casual, and I would take an oversized camp collar shirt over an oversized shirt. Now our next piece is definitely the more classic and timeless piece, and that would be the slim fit tee. So with these, they definitely lost a lot of their luster, especially after the scoop tee trend back in 2017. However, in today's current fashion meta, wide leg pants, wide leg trousers is the way to go. And I think Slim fit tees look amazing with these pants. Personally, I think everybody should have one of these in your wardrobe before you get an oversized tee. These look great with wide fit trousers. They look great with shorts. You can go a little more casual. You can get a little more dressy and wear them on a date night. Super versatile. If you are gonna pick a slim fit tee, I would definitely go with white and black. Just get a bunch of those because black and white holds so much weight to the point where striped ones, graphic ones look amateur compared to the solid color ones. I gotta place it in A tier. However, I think you can place it in S tier if you get a breathable one, like the ones from Unbound Merino, the sponsor of today's video. Look fellas, I really gotta put y'all onto these shirts. So Unbound Merino was started by 3 lifelong friends who were obsessed with travel. And if you can pack less, you can travel more. And it's perfect because right now it's summertime, travel season, and you want a nice fitting tee that's breathable and also versatile. As you can tell by the name of their brand, merino wool is the solution. Because if you haven't tried out a luxurious soft merino wool, I really think you're missing out. It is that comfortable. It never smells due to wool being naturally antibacterial and odor resistant, and it regulates your body temperature much better than cotton or synthetic fabrics. So it's breathable during the warmer months and insulates during the colder months. And something else I can appreciate is their commitment. So when you see this Woolmark logo right here, it is a testament to their quality and sustainability of their wool products. And this one specifically means pure wool. And like I said, compared to synthetic fibers and cotton, you really feel a difference. It's very light, super breathable, and just check out the fit of this. Styling wise, I really don't think you can go wrong with any size pants. Wide fits, flared fits, whatever it is, slim fit tees pairs well with all of them. Plus, it's all ethically sourced from family-owned Australian farms, and everyone in the supply chain gets fair wages. And even though this segment is all about slim fit shirts, Unbound Merino has a ton of variety. From polos, button-ups to long sleeve shirts and hoodies, they got you for any occasion. So I couldn't recommend Unbound Merino anymore. It is that good. If you want to pick up a piece, of course, I'm gonna recommend their slim fit tees. Just head to that first link down in the description and browse around their sites. You'll definitely find something that you like. So pick one up. I promise you'll love it. And thank you Unbound Merino for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Now, speaking of slim fit tees, let's talk about a variant of the classic tee, and that would be the V-neck. Immediate F tier, our very first one, and rightfully so. I personally think that these are never going to come back. Fashion is cyclical, but V-necks, I don't think they're a part of that picture because they'll never be on the level of classicness, even though it's just a change in the collar. Like, look at this outfit, terrible. I would know because that's me. Trust me, fellas, stick to the classic. Up next, the slim fit button up. Now, I personally like these, but I don't really wear them unless I have to. And I think the sentiment is the same for everyone else. Really, these are more for summer weddings and more fancier dates. And yes, there are more breathable ones made out of linen and all that, but for my personal style, I don't really wear these all too much. I'd much rather go with the camp collar shirts because the slim fit dress shirts, you really can only pair it with some smart trousers, maybe some Bermuda shorts. But then again, I think camp collars look better in both of those for summertime. You really are limited with this piece. Try styling with some cargo pants, doesn't work. So slim fit button-ups, I'm gonna place it in D tier. I think there is a better option, and that would be the oversized button-up. I think it is miles better than the slim fit dress shirt for a more casual style. Because with the slim fit button-ups, you're going to slim fit anyways. I think you might as well go with the slim fit camp collar shirt. You're better off with a slim fit polo or the slim fit tee. I don't know. For me, I tend to lean towards a more casual style, more Asian streetwear. And so the oversized button-up is just a lot more fun. You can style it with wide fit cargos. You can style it with sweatpants. You can also pair it with a tank top. So it's just like a camp collar shirt, but long sleeve. And you can still roll up the sleeves for that camp collar look. Wearing a tank top with a slim fit dress shirt just doesn't work. These are just a way more versatile piece. However, they're not as crazy with the designs and graphics as, let's just say, the oversized camp collar. There's a lot more variety with that and different textures. So I'm gonna place these in A tier. Now, on to the next piece, which I think is a bit underrated, but I could care less about, and that would be jerseys. Because I'm not really a traditional sports guy. Now, I do have a genetic predisposition to liking martial arts, so I enjoy watching the UFC, One Championship, karate combat, that's really all I watch. So sports jerseys aren't really my thing. However, I do see a lot of people styling these really well, and depending on the country, you're gonna find different types of jerseys. So over here in America, you're gonna see a lot more football jerseys, and I'm talking about American football. Across the pond, y'all also have football jerseys, but it's really soccer jerseys. I'm gonna call it soccer, so there's some distinguish the two. So although jerseys aren't for me, I can really appreciate it when someone styles it really well. So I'm gonna place jerseys in C tier. Next up, we have the short sleeve Henley, F tier. If you're gonna go with the Henley, just stick with the long sleeve version, which isn't for summertime, because our next piece is the polo shirt. This is what the short sleeve Henley wishes it could be, clean and mature. So polos, you got tons of colors, tons of textures. You can style them for a date night, hair done, or you can go more casual with a cap and tote bag. But again, I still prefer the camp collar shirt. You still get that clean and mature look, the collar, but you can style it with a tank top or a regular shirt underneath. And if it gets too hot, strip off the camp collar and you have a different fit. But polos are still pretty solid. I'm gonna place them in B tier. So our final piece is the perfect substitute to the standard tank top that a lot of people forget about, and that is the sleeveless tee. Let me just tell you why it is so much better. Number one, it's pretty much just as breathable as your standard tank top. Number two, and the most important part, it's a lot more inclusive. All these really are oversized tees with the sleeves cut off, hence the sleeveless tee. So I think anybody of any size can wear these a lot easier mentally than your standard tank top. There's really nothing holding you back. And number three, there's just a ton more variety than your standard tank top. So you got a lot more textures, you got graphic ones. Imagine a regular tank top that's graphic. And you got a ton of different colors, which you really can't get with the slim fit tank top. Maybe some darker colors, but nothing too colorful. And number four, you can DIY this yourself. Don't cut too low because it's gonna show a lot more of your rib cage and you're just gonna look like one of those annoying gym bros. Like I said, that mental barrier is gone and these just look so good. You can pair them with trousers, you can pair them with cargo pants and cargo shorts. I personally like going really colorful, but also the Stormtrooper black and white look is unmatched with these. The sleeveless tee is also one of the best tops for summertime. It's definitely going in S tier. So out of all the summer tops, if I had to pick one that is the best of the best, the sleeveless tee is close, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to the camp collar shirt. So camp collars, double S tier, and the worst of the worst, or double F tier, the V-neck is pretty close, but I think the short sleeve Henley takes that crown. I think it's the worst piece that you can get for the summertime. It just doesn't look good. You're better off with the polo. You're better off with the regular slim fit crew neck shirt. Save the Henleys for fall, spring, and winter. But there you go, fellas. That is the summer tops tier list. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions on a tier list, drop it in the comments down below. And until then, stay fly. Check out Unbound Merino. Deuces.